Hi, welcome to your weight loss online learning. I'm Peter Kenyon and I'm a weight loss educator, which means I teach people the skills they need to eat well, lose weight, and feel great about their new lifestyle. I'm committed to helping you reach a long and prosperous life through the better understanding of health and nutrition. This outcome of optimal health is achieved through diet, education, exercise, and supplements. Welcome to your weight loss workshop. This is week 5, and this week we'll be looking at the bread and cereal category of the diet plan. We'll be talking about nutrition labels and then looking at how much is too much when it comes to macronutrients when we're looking at nutrition labels. Before we go on, let's just do a recap of last week. Now, last week, your focus was on daily fruit requirements, which is either 2, 3, or 4 serves, depending on which calorie plan you are following. You're encouraged to try fruit smoothies if you don't like to eat fruit and to maintain your new knowledge in relation to protein, restricted vegetables, and unrestricted vegetables. It's progressive learning. We build upon our previous week's knowledge. So let's look into part 1, the bread and cereal category of the diet plan. Now, the bread and cereal category of the diet plan will have 3 serves per day, 4 serves per day, or 5 serves per day, depending upon which calorie or kilojoule plan you are following. When it comes to one serve of the biscuits or bread will be half a bread roll, pita bread, muffin, or bagel. Now, one serve is half a bread roll, but it doesn't mean you eat half a bread roll. Just count a bread roll, a full bread roll, as 2 serves. It's also 3/4 a cup of porridge, 1 slice of bread, 2 Revita, Sayo, or milk arrowroot biscuits, 3 Weet-Bix, Vita-Wheat, rice cakes, or Kavli. And you're going to be looking at this saying, but there are other biscuits out there. Well, there are other biscuits out there, but what we're asking you to do on this diet plan is to restrict your choices because it is your unrestricted choices that has created your overweight problem. So on this diet plan, what is on here is what is permitted. Now, when it comes to grains and cereal, 1/3 of a cup of cooked rice or pasta is a serve. That means you can have up to 3 serves if you have a full cup. You'll also notice that cooked rice and pasta is in your restricted vegetable group. So that means that you can, with some creativity, have up to 2 cups of rice or pasta per day. It's also 1 serve is half a cup of muesli, 3/4 a cup of cornflakes, rice bubbles, Special K, Sultana Bran, Guardian, or Just Right. Now, once again, there are a lot of cereals out there to choose from, and if you wanted to know what serve, and if you wanted to know what 1 serve of cereal is, then simply read the nutrition information panel on the side, and it will tell you that 1 serve of cereal might be 45 grams, it might be 50 grams, or 60 grams, depending upon the type of cereal. So, weigh your cereal. It's also 1 to 2 tablespoons of wheat bran, oat bran, rice bran, or 3 tablespoons of all bran. That's your bread and cereal. Just read through the list, familiarize yourself with the list, and try to just stick to the foods that are on that list. Remember, unrestricted eating leads to obesity. Here's a basic rule. Just focus on maintaining 2 slices of bread a day, don't exceed that, and weigh your cereal. That's a good plan for this week. Part 2, understanding nutrition labels. This is a nutrition label. Now, one of the most important skills you can develop on your weight loss program is to learn to read and interpret nutrition information panels. We'll call them NIPs for short. Why do we have food labels or nutrition information panels? Labelling laws in Australia require most manufactured foods to display a nutrition information panel. A reliable label displays will show you the serve size of the food plus the food calculated per 100 grams, and this helps you to calculate percentages. Labels allow you to compare similar foods to help make the best choice for you. How to read nutrition information panels. Nutrition information panels show energy as kilojoules and calories, the macronutrients of the food such as protein, fat, or carbohydrates, and the serve size and number of serves per package. Not all foods require nutrition information panels. Foods that are exempt are foods that are very small amounts like spices, foods like tea and coffee, or 1 ingredient foods that are like fruit. Food sold at fundraising does not require to show nutrition information panels, and neither are foods packaged at the point of sale. To lose body fat, you should look at the kilojoules or calories, the amount of a macronutrient like protein, which we focus on in this diet plan, and the amount of fat per serve, and fiber. And that fiber, looking at fiber helps you to choose a better quality carbohydrate. Fat by law must list the amount of saturated fat and trans fat in foods, and carbohydrates must show the amount of sugar that is in food. All the ingredients in the food are listed, so there is another label on the packaged foods. Ingredients must be listed in decreasing amounts by weight. The ingredient listed first is the most abundant in the food, and other things listed are additives like food coloring, food flavoring, and allergens that may be present. Moving on to part 3, how much is too much for a macronutrient? How much is the right amount when it comes to fiber? I'm going to harp about fiber. I love fiber. So we need 20 to 40 grams per day of fiber. High fiber foods on manufactured products will show 3 grams is a high fiber food. Now, honestly, you get 3 grams from an apple. When you're looking at sodium or salt, a quarter of a teaspoon, which is 600 milligrams, is considered high. Now there is 600 milligrams right here on this quarter teaspoon. If you've got blood pressure problems, then I'm going to recommend that you put the salt in your hand before you put on food to see how much salt you are actually putting on your food. So, but when it comes to manufactured foods, you are looking for less than 20 milligrams per 100 grams. Now, 20 milligrams is a small amount for this, isn't it? It's less than 0.02%. Salt is one of those things that we do not need in our diet. It comes naturally in food. We get enough. How much is the right amount when it comes to sugar? Now, on a weight reduction plan, what you're trying to do is reduce or eliminate sugar from your foods. We don't need it. Sugar is just empty calories. But a high sugar food has 30 grams of sugar. Now, that's probably over a tablespoon of sugar. So look for 20 grams and less per 100 grams of sugar. Trouble with sugar, it does come in different disguises, so you must learn to identify the sugar that is hidden in foods. It comes as brown sugar, corn syrup, dextrose, lactose, fructose, maltose, or sucrose. Disaccharides or monosaccharides, honey, mannitol, sorbitol, or xylitol. These are all sugars. How much is the right amount when it comes to fat? Well, high fat in food is 20 grams, so look for 3 grams or less per 100 grams, that's 3%. A little trick you've got to watch when it comes to labeling is that some foods will say 93% fat-free. Now, a packaged food that says 93% fat-free means that 7% is still fat, and now you know that if you're looking for 3% or less, that 7% fat is still too high in fat for you on a weight loss program. So look for 3% or less and watch out for that tricky labeling that says something is 93% fat-free because it's still 7% fat. So you've also got to watch fat because it comes in disguises too. It's hidden in our foods. It comes as beef fat, easy to spot, butter and shortening, well, you know that's fat, coconut and coconut oil or palm oil. Sounds natural, but it's still fat. Hydrogenated oils, full cream milk powder, vegetable oil, and kofa. They're all fat. Learn to identify them on the labels and try to avoid them. On a weight reduction program, you want to identify fatty foods and reduce or eliminate them. You eliminate the saturated fat on meat by removing the skin from chicken, trimming the fat from your steak and roasts, buying the more expensive cuts that has less fat, and eating the correct portion size of meat for the weight you want to be. Now for that you see the diet plan. Strategies for reducing fat in your lifestyle. Well, the first thing you can do is use cooking sprays rather than bottled oils. Saute in wine or stock. Trim your fat from your meat. Avoid fatty foods and meats such as salami. There's no such thing as a low-fat salami. Flavor foods with spices, herbs, lemon and garlic rather than using oils or dressings. Or try sorbet or fruit for dessert rather than pastries or ice cream. Now, a little bit further on with food labels, there's two things you must be aware of and understand on food labels. That when something is labeled best before, that means that that food has a shelf life of less than 2 years. But after the 2 years, the quality may diminish, but it's still edible. So if something is best before and that date has expired, you may still eat it. It just means it's not so good a quality of food. However, use by means do not eat it after the use by date. Food should not be eaten after this date. The use by date is very important. Go through your pantry. If it has a use by date that has expired, you must throw that food out and not eat it. So this week's task is to focus on reading food labels and to limit your bread intake to 2 slices a day and to weigh your protein. They're your tasks for this week. So your 3-day task is to spend 3 days when you go shopping reading food labels. For 3 days, restrict yourself to 2 slices of bread a day. And for 3 days, weigh your breakfast cereal if you have breakfast cereals for breakfast. This is week 5, so let's do a review of how this weight loss program works. Now, it is accumulated learning, so you're only changing one aspect of your lifestyle per week. And in week 1, we focus on protein, so you weigh your protein. In week 2, you learned about restricted vegetables, so some vegetables are restricted. And in week 2, your focus was on restricting those vegetables. Week 3, you learned about unrestricted vegetables and how to use them. And for that, we looked at making salads. Week 4 was to work fruit into your lifestyle. And week 5, we were focusing on your bread and cereal category of the diet plan. Through the 5-week program, you're encouraged to focus on fiber to help increase your fiber and vegetable intake. That's how the 5-week program works and how we approach this diet plan. You are also encouraged to drop sugar because sugar has no place as a food. You're encouraged to get active and you're encouraged to tell people about this program so they can join us on our online weight loss club. Thank you for attending. Don't forget, you can email me or phone me and we can have a discussion and I can just be too happy to hear from you. Okay, take care and I'll see you when we start the next program.